Hi and hello and welcome to episode 35 of Going Over. I, of course, am Fred Slow alongside me, Saleh Taylor, and we are talking the world of pro wrestling right here on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. Time of recording, Friday, May 31st. Time of airing, Saturday, June 1st. It's a Van-iversary for myself and my my everyday co-host, Van Nunley from Two Men On. You can join us if you're catching this on the airing live on Saturday, June the 1st in the morning. We'll be at Howie's Sports Page all night long. Saleh, how are you, brother?
I'm moving. I'm grooving. I'm grateful. I'm here. How about
Awesome.
yourself? How you doing? How you feeling,
I
Fred?
never complain. I'm so very fortunate in life. Big thank you to Cool Springs, who helped us last week with our birthday bash. We couldn't have done it without they. Cool Springs with the Z.com, fun, family, and fitness. I took the 9-year-old now in my life down there for a birthday party last week. Had about as much fun as any human being could ever have. 505-345-JUMP. You know that's in the 5200 block of San Mateo. 5205 San Mateo Boulevard Northeast. Go over there, check they out. The kids area, the arcade, the climbing walls, laser tag, ninja chorus, trampoline. You know the whole thing, Saleh. Get out, get active, and now that the kids are out of school, get them out of your house.
Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds groovy. Actually, I might find some kids who are looking like me with beards and just send them to Cool Springs.
You're more athletic than you look.
And I'm not that. I don't look that
No,
athletic.
you don't look very athletic. Congratulations, Saleh Taylor. You have made the top 300, my friend. This was kind of a big deal. I don't know if you want to bring it in or if you want me to kind of give you my impression of what it is, but put out earlier this week was a really fun like top 300 of Asian Pacific Islanders in the world of pro wrestling. This is obviously for Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month. You were in the mix with some really big names, my man. Welcome back to the industry.
That was awesome. A big shout out to actually Jay Sizzle. I
Yeah,
believe he's one of the people that spoke on my behalf to the people. And uh, thank you, thank you. And it feels good to be back on a radar with something like this. That was really dope. Just seeing my big head amongst those other big heads, man. It was actually really dope. It was really cool,
hey,
man.
your promo pick holds up with any of them.
I'll take it, man. Shout out to Rusty Rutherford for the promo pick, baby. That man, he's got a great eye, and he
There were a
knows how
bunch
to.
of dudes on this list that I didn't know. Like I didn't know like Batista.
Oh yeah, dude, Filipino.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
Pinoy.
I'm sitting here. I was with no idea. So you and Jacob Fatu both on the list. So two DCCW contributors on this super fun. Kind of caught the internet. You know what I mean? It was one of those
Yeah,
kind of. It went out and it went viral by just so many individuals. So congratulations, man! A little bit of recognition, not just for you, but all the individuals in the Asian Pacific Islander
yeah.
community and the Heritage Month that celebrates them.
I am honored as I am undeserving. I've said this before. I say it again. I'm no one with no name who's done nothing but take from the industry, but it is my job not to give back. But every single person that's on that list deserves to be on there. They are amazing. There's a lot of great talent, upcoming
Yeah,
guys. And it was really cool seeing the family up there again too. That was
there's
really awesome.
There was a super fun like ladies edition of it. Did you see this where it was
Yeah,
all the women? Um there is something special about the look of that style of pro wrestler. Like there's like if you want to present like real hard edge, you can pull it off really well. If you want to present, like a childish character, like that character can be done equally. I'm sure this is true for everyone, but there were just so many examples in the Asian Pacific Islander like women of pro wrestling world where I was like, oh, some of these gals go hard, and some of these are every little kid's favorite wrestler as well. Just kind of incredible to me how many different characters can be pulled off.
it's a beautiful thing. We all come in different shapes and sizes,
Yeah,
and the of course there's like a beautiful stretch of martial arts gimmicks in there, but then there are
a lot.
also great blends of like you got rockers in there, you got some hardcore guys in there. It's
Yep.
like, yeah, we do. We're like, then you got the Island Boys in there, mixed in there. Then you got me with my denim getup, like, which is really dope. But like, I love the diversity within even our own world or our own community, man. So I'm grateful to be in such great company.
Yeah. If you're tuned into us live terrestrially on June the 1st, Tonight there is pro wrestling in New Mexico. There's pro wrestling over in Rio Rancho, Phase One Pro Wrestling. Go check they out. Couldn't tell you anything about the ticket situation, but I know that they did very well the last time they aired, and then only one more show for them for the remainder of the year. So if you're excited about that promotion, what they got going on, definitely reach out to them and go become a fan. You and I will not be there. I have an obligation with Brooks and Dunn tonight, and then our anniversary party. You, my friend, also have a commitment tonight professionally, and then we're gonna celebrate Van and I, which is the most selfish thing of all time. But
I can't wait. For those who don't know, like I'm also a working musician, so like
yeah,
I have a it's a wedding that I'm playing, and I'm excited to go. It's basically let's help keep Uncle Sally off the pole. So whatever
yeah,
you
that's
got, that let's do this town a favor and just keep me off the pole. So I
it's
keep more money keeping my clothes on apparently. So um, you know that's what's going on. Like basically, if I'm not doing professional wrestling, if I'm not commentating, if I'm not, I'm usually probably in prep of or playing, executing
yeah.
a gig with one of the bands
Well,
I'm in.
the amount of pro wrestlers too that have ventured into the world of music is very, very high. Like from our organization alone, obviously there's you. Gabe Gambino, who hosted our birthday party last week, is a really talented musician. Hobo Hank is a talented musician. He has a bunch of songs on Spotify. He's a world of talent. Our champion Thunder has created a lot of stuff musically as well. And I know I'm leaving some people out that you could fill in the blanks on, but there's just like a Venn diagram that says if you are a talented entertainer in the world of music, how necessarily, or excuse me, how the strong possibility it is that you'll be an entertainer in the world of pro wrestling.
That is actually a good, beautiful thing. I love you said that, like a Venn diagram. There are beautiful things that just
Hmm.
meet up in the middle. And one of the things that we all share in common is we love attention.
Yeah,
Let's be honest. you
our
know,
videographer, Brandon Ortega, really talented musician. I believe Rusty Rutherford, our photographer, has messed around with some stuff. So there's all kinds of talent in the world of music, in the world of pro wrestling. Speaking of Gabe Gambino hosting our birthday bash last weekend, it was incredible. Thank you to everyone who came out to the historic El Rey Theater. Thank you for celebrating 1 year with Duke City Championship Wrestling, our largest gate ever, Saleh. So how fun that was.
that was a beautiful thing. And like it's just one of those insane things where like you just kind of had to take a few moments every now and then and just like just take it in.
Yeah, drink it.
Yeah. And like I hope you're able to do that. Um and like it it's insane that from what started as a meeting, a few years ago, and then you just knocked out a really really big deal of a milestone. And don't count us out. We are aware of what's ahead and what challenges lie ahead of us because we want to keep this product good for
Yeah,
every single
and
one
I
of
don't
you.
know who is trying to count out Duke City Championship Wrestling. No one with validity, I'll tell you that. The people in the industry that see us coming, I think they're excited that we are, and the fan base that we've captured, how tremendous that they are here with us. So yeah, it's been an absolute tremendous start. But as the title of this episode, 2 is the loneliest number. It does feel like it's transitioned a little bit now, right? It's no longer the upstart. It's no longer the establishing proof of concept. Now it's established brand and destination brand, and individuals that really yearn to be a part of it, and for us to keep regenerating it every single month and introducing it to our audience. How wildly incredible. So 1 year in the books. June 28th is our next one. Summer Sizzle, Friday Night Wrestling at the historic El Rey Theater. I'm going to tell you this: keep your weekends available in July and August because we got some big stuff planned. Also, officially now we're going to go out to the International Folk Art Museum. We're going to help them with their luchador experience. We're going to do that in September. That's going to be a big deal.
Wow.
And the state fair right around the corner. Don't forget, we have
What?
been, yeah, there's just a ton going on in the world of pro wrestling here in town. So I hope Albuquerque becomes the hotbed that we think it can be in the world of pro wrestling, and all the momentum of this past year, and the time before this past year, but the organizations that were, doing stuff before we were doing stuff, thank you to they for, keeping the what am I trying to say here, when you keep a fire stoked,
Keep
what's that,
yeah.
keeping the
Keep
what's that
keep
called,
keep
the
holding the torch. Just
yeah,
keeping it burnt, keeping it lit.
what's it called whenever there's little, and they're like hot, they're like coals, keeping the
Embers.
coals, yeah, the embers, keep them going, because
Yes.
this thing is a burning right now. So how very fun. Also, Comic-Con right around the corner, and I saw they had some big announcements in the world of pro wrestling. Is there anything public yet?
We are able to say that if after you've agreed that you will be hosting the panel for Scott Steiner,
Let's go. That's going to be
and
a lot of
you,
fun.
as well as this is really cool. Jimmy Hart
Yeah, welcome
is
back.
coming back, man. So we're gonna get some of that in there, and then I got a few more people to talk through. But it's a smaller show, but like it's still a beautiful show that we're excited to
Yeah.
share with anyone, all of
Well,
the fans.
and those individuals that are interested in going to Comic-Con, obviously you can do that through the traditional outlets. But I tell you what, whenever we do these panels, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to ask, tell us about Steiner math. Like that's not the sit down we're going to have. We're going to talk about his time, on the biggest stage, which was WWF, WWE, and whenever he was, in my opinion, one of the brightest stars in the industry was with WCW. And then lastly, he tours now. Well, TNA, he had a hell of a run too. I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
he
Yeah.
he made just like a impression everywhere he went. But we'll definitely talk about Braun Breaker, his nephew. We'll talk about his success in the industry, and we'll take some time and talk about what it's like doing the indies now. Working around the country and doing promotions. He's still in the mix. I think I saw the other day him and Buff Bagwell doing a spot with someone. So these names are still very relevant and still very going. And that's the thing with the world of pro wrestling and the theater that it is, that they can continue to perform at the level they did 10, 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Because there's someone helping you look good.
That is a beautiful thing, and it's let's be honest. There's no exit strategy to this
No,
world, to this
no.
life. So if you can still do it, and if you can still hit the road, and people can still, and if there's still a demand for you, why not? Just keep going, and and it's really cool to see that he's still able to hit the road as well as he is, and even hearing the Buff Bagwell being back in there, like we're always hoping that he's doing well, and even all of the old heads, man, like it's a beautiful, crazy thing that you continue to have to give yourself to, but it's one of those things that you like when it's all you know and all you're good at, keep doing it.
Yeah. There was
You
a
know,
lot in the world of the big ones this past week. We'll talk about that as well as Double or Nothing came through for AEW, which I'm going to shoot you real transparent. I'm not caught up on AEW yet. It was such a big week for us birthday wise. And King of the Ring for WWE was also a very big deal. So those were two big important shows. Also, we're going to talk a lot about contracts of professional wrestlers and what they
yeah,
do whenever their opportunity comes to an end. That's going to be a fun point of conversation. And don't forget, we will recap Birthday Bash because it was just, like I said, an incredible night. I think I'm so very proud of. And for the individuals that weren't there, we encourage you to come. Also, we're very aware of what's going on at 9 a.m. on Saturdays. You have two options in the world of sports here in Albuquerque. It's us and it's the competitor in town, and it's both combat sports talk at this hour. Like, we're not confused. Like you're
yeah,
going to come to us for combat sports, or you're going to go to them for combat sports, and that's it. You are stuck for 1 hour with pro wrestling and combat sports talk, including the big Poirier fight tonight. So we'll talk about that too, because I just think that's kind of fun because people love living in the world of mixed martial arts and the UFC. And I think that fan base, really translates both ways. And I don't know a ton about the Diamond Dustin Poirier. I can't tell you his win-loss record. I can't tell you what he's going to do against Islam Makhachev, but people are jazzed for it. So we'll definitely give some excitement to it. Back after the break, we're talking about those who may become available to Duke City Championship Wrestling in just a couple weeks. The FTC said so. They say you can go wrestle right away. It's 2 men on. Or no, it's not. It's going over on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal. Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to Going Over. I am Fred Slow. You are Saleh Taylor. Thank you for joining us on the program. Pre-recorded to tape, airing on Saturday, June the 1st. Thank you for being a part of the program with us. You're talking about some names that are coming up in the world of free agency, in the world of pro wrestling. You saw MJF at Double or Nothing, obviously. So he's a guy that was oft rumored to be going to the WWE. That didn't happen. You're talking a lot about Gable Stevenson, who's going to sign with the Buffalo Bills. We'll talk about that. He was just released. Also, Chad Gable, you mentioned, coming available. And then on top of that, Natalia Hart. Is that right? Natalia? Did I say that right?
Natalia, Mark.
So she as well coming, and she's been a staple of the WWE for a lot of years as of recently. So, or of the last 16 or 17 years, something crazy. So there's a lot of big names that could be coming free agents in the world of pro wrestling. I want to start with Gable Stevenson. Is that okay with you?
Let's get it, man.
I don't get it. And you and I laugh a lot, and we mostly wax poetic over the world of Duke City Championship Wrestling, and we talk about Phase One going on and all the local stuff. Gable Stevenson is a nutcase to me. This whole thing is so far fetched that he's going to sign with the Bills. His story. Arguably the best wrestler in NCAA history. That's better than some of the guys who have done it really well in NCAA history. He's the best one. Olympic gold medalist. You kind of know everything. And then the state of Minnesota had to rewrite their assault and sexual assault laws because he found a loophole with a level of intoxication of a victim. Do not be confused. In a court case against where he was charged with sexual assault. He is at or near one of the weirdest, probably most dangerous people on the planet, and with a long lineage, and I'm sorry I'm running long here, of guys like Dolph Ziggler and Chad Gable and Brock Lesnar, and I could keep going, that have taken the world of shoot wrestling to a whole nother level in the world of professional wrestling. He took what was obviously the easiest opportunity to stay athletic and stay dedicated and absolutely pissed it away. And now he's going to go try to play professional football, a sport he's never played, for the Buffalo Bills. And I do not understand what the pro is for the Buffalo Bills to bring in a guy like Gable Stevenson, who is an absolute torment professionally.
So let's talk about a broad picture with like professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Especially in the mid 90s, there's always have been like we need a shoot wrestler type of gimmick, and it never really caught on until, let's say, Kurt Angle,
I agree. Good example.
when he legitimized it, became the standard of like, all right, this is now we have to emulate. And ever since Kurt Angle, there's always been like other what's feel like a cheap knockoffs or but Gable Stevenson was another attempt of this current generation's Kurt Angle. Because all right, Olympic gold, like all right, NCAA shoot, just legend,
right?
Olympic gold medalist, Olympic medalist, and then like bring him into the wrestling. Like all right, let's bring him on. That is always a gamble because, especially with the world of social media and with how much information is out there, or what people can grab, especially with the Freedom of Information Act. A lot of what you do in the dark will be brought to light.
Well, FOIAs are real interesting. That's the whole reason what Stormy Daniels said on the oh my
trial.
God, yeah, I think at the trial. I've been doing this at the time of recording. It's Friday night. It's late. It's like after 9:00. Like I've done an entire week of radio, and we had the birthday thing. I think my brain is a little fried because I'm not slow like this. I know words. But yeah, no, FOIAs are the reason that anyone knows anything. Like that's a fact. And
yes,
and if you're not familiar with how they work, anything that has to do with a government or official entity, right? So if you want to FOIA a city councilman's cell phone, you can do that. Like
yes,
they have to give you what is there. If you want to FOIA a trial, if you want to FOIA anything that is publicly recorded, you can do that easily. There is often a 21-day tournament,
and you are protected in requesting for that. So anything you do in the dark,
yeah,
if there's someone else there, more than likely that will be brought out to the light. So the man just has a very, very just troubled perception on what he can, what's kosher or not. So he's had a decent run, but he couldn't really connect with the crowd.
Sure.
Also, more importantly, the shutdown didn't help. Going out there working to a crowdless arena. The fight, the Thunderdome, and all that stuff. That probably didn't help the push for him. But even then, when they started working back in the crowd again, he just wasn't completely connecting. The man looks like $1 million. He can work really well, but he just doesn't completely connect. So it seems that his days with professional wrestling's come to an end, and it looks like he's looking at a 3-year rookie contract with Buffalo Bills. I'd say like right now they're just trying to utilize press to their advantage. Yeah.
Oh, miss me with that, Sully. My shoot job is sports talk.
Yeah, I know.
So the Bills are worthless. Like I want to be very transparent here. They've had guys like Tyrell Dotson, they've had guys like Von Miller, and now Gable Stevenson, And I'm going to tell you right now, the Buffalo Bills do not care about the character of individuals the way that it even appears that WWE does. And WWE is moving forward. I don't think historically they did. I think with Vince McMahon, they made whatever weird decision Vince McMahon wanted to make. That's not the game anymore. The game is not having around weird dudes. And I'll give you an example, right? So Gable Stevenson, I'm going to the Bills, this, that, the other thing, right? And the response from Twitter about he is laughable. Like, I mean, wrestling Twitter. Like, the response is, sorry, as I choked to death on a grape seed. The response is, he's only going to look good if there's someone there to help him. No one here in this industry is going to miss him. And it's the tip of the iceberg. It's when he was released 3 weeks ago, you didn't see a bunch of pro wrestlers coming to bat for him and being like, hey, he didn't, it just didn't click, or he didn't have the stuff you're talking about. There are a bunch of people saying he didn't put the work in. There are a bunch of people saying he wasn't dedicated. And if you're going to sit here and tell me that you can't, where the path is already so very much lined for you in an industry where you can do it until you're 65 years old. You know how I know? I'm about to talk to Scott Steiner and Jimmy Hart. When you can do it in a way where the formula is right there, Kurt Angle, we were talking about Chad Gable, Dolph Ziggler, we were talking about Brock Lesnar, and all you have to do is put in the effort. He, by choice, failed to put in the effort. By choice. And the Buffalo Bills don't need this smoke. They don't need another camp body. They don't need a guy who's never professionally played football or amateurly played football. Dog, Saleh, he's never worn cleats. I'm not joking. You're going to tell me right now you can take a guy off the street and he can go become an NFL defensive lineman or linebacker? I'm going to tell you the NFL is not hard then. Call me in Saleh. We'll come out and play. You know what we've never done? Had to get state laws changed for sexual assault. Is it? Miss me with it. Just miss me with it entirely, brother.
Well, I can see that. I can tell you, yeah. But mind you, within the last 2 minutes, you just said Buffalo Bills more than you've ever said in the last week, probably.
In the world of pro wrestling, I would agree. Yeah. Because, the last time DeMar Hamlin, is that the last time we're regularly talking about him?
Okay, that's
Whenever
fair.
Bills Mafia comes through and does something really cool for someone in the community, we talk about him then.
I love that.
Yeah, those are the times. Josh Allen, I guess. Stephon Diggs, I guess. I mean, I can run the names for you. This is a wrestling show. It's not about football, but it's about, I don't think Gable Stevenson's name is substantial enough. Gable Stevenson, I don't want in my industry. I don't want in my locker room. And I'm no one to say. I've been in the game a year. I've been in pro wrestling for 1 year. I've never locked up with a dude. But I know who good dudes are. Yeah. He's not one. He's not for me.
Another person that we're talking about that is exercising, that has actually exercised their right to not resign, has been Becky Lynch. It's common knowledge now that she's asked for and is exercising her ability to just not sign anywhere. And she just want to go home, be a mom, be a wife, be with her family for a bit. And she is currently not signed to actually as of when this airs, June 1st, she will officially be a free agent.
Yeah, at the time of this, and she confirmed it during her book tour.
Yeah,
that this was her plan. And I know the status, obviously you got 2 months to go back and forth on it.
Well, mind you, she wanted to originally take some time off after WrestleMania.
Correct. And then there was an injury. Yeah. She held the belt. Yeah. And then, without any spoilers last week, she no longer holds the belt.
Yes.
So having not come to terms on a new contract, no big deal. If she goes somewhere else, big deal.
Yeah.
With her husband, her shoot husband, Seth Rollins, re-signing, I would find it hard to believe she'd go to a totally different company. My best guess is she might value spending that time away that you're talking about away. Come back to the Royal Rumble. You know what I mean? Come back whenever you have the itch, that kind of thing.
That would be a perfect time. She, more importantly, let the crowd want her back. Just like how it is for Roman Reigns right now. The whole time, every time you see Bloodline right on screen, you just hear the crowd. We want Roman. Like let them yearn. Like let them yearn for you to come back. But Becky Lynch legit taking time off. That's well deserved and well earned. people forget these are real people,
Yeah.
and also times have changed. I remember when uh well, I think it was Uncle Sika when one of his kids were being born. It might have been Roman, right? Or like it might have been young Joe.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, he didn't want to miss the birth of his son, so he had a big old argument with Vince and everyone. It was like, I gotta go, and he left. They fired him. And that was the end of the Wild Samoans, and that was the end of his contract with WWE, and that was how he was let go. You know,
Well, and that's and the obviously I think all of our eyes have just been on this Donald Trump trial for the last 2 months, but specifically this last week. There's a thing in the legal world called standing, right? So
yes,
for a long time, that was the standing in WWE. That was the practice. That was the example. But so very recently, and I'll give you an example on the other side of the gender because I think it's kind of fun. Johnny Gargano just did this. Johnny Gargano lets his NXT contract expire, doesn't sign anywhere else, stays at home, plays Mr. Mom, does that thing, and then eventually comes back to the main roster on a contract. And I can't imagine that practice won't be the practice of so many moving forward. I believe it will be.
that and it's actually a good way to utilize time to your advantage, and you're not messing with anyone else's mind because all right, my contract's up. Let's talk about this later. Give me a month.
Yeah.
And you're like you're still in good standing with the business with the organization, and they're not there's no power play. You're able to still be like, all right, we'll have a decent professional relationship still. Let me just be without for a bit for a
Well,
minute.
is there another one? Because we're only really talking about the not working. We're talking about family stuff. Maybe we're not. Maybe we're talking completely ignorantly. Because now with TKO Holdings and The Rock and the success of
Yeah,
John Cena, and I could run the list. Is it far fetched? Does Becky Lynch have the acting ability? Does she have the fan base that would follow her? Can she go out and do things like Hollywood? Can she go out and create? She just wrote a book, allegedly. I mean, you know how writing a book is, or whatever.
yeah,
But like, could she go and be the star of a Mad Max? Maybe could she go and be the star of a rom com? Could she go and do a reality TV series thing? Blah blah blah. You get the point I'm going here.
yeah,
Like, this is not the only outlet for entertainment as it was historically for those in the world of pro wrestling. And when the time comes, and TKO and WWE have showed us 100 times over, they will just welcome you back after you get done.
yeah.
Cut, edit. That's a
All
wrap.
right, check the gate. Let's
Yeah.
go. Actually, this is one of the coolest things that Vince McMahon did do, and he did this well, where he was able to try and bridge a gap between pop culture and professional wrestling. He encouraged, especially his top guys, to go and be part of pop culture. Try and go be in a movie or anything. He always wanted to have his own professional studios. He did have WWF at the time, WWF Studios for a while, where he was producing films
Yeah.
featuring predominantly, his wrestlers. He always wanted to do that, and so he always encouraged that, but mainly for his top guys that could draw. Um, but like right now, with how much information, with how much media is available out there, it's a little easier for those who just what. Um, I want to go and exercise this, man. There's enough money out there there's enough like producers out there like, oh, by the way, I know your name, I know you have this many followers,
Mm-hmm.
let's try to build something around you. I wouldn't mind see Becky Lynch trying to find a new avenue, because let's be honest, she can't, like as much as she wants to, and like yeah, and she can do this for a while. This takes a massive toll on your body.
Well, and yeah, yes, 100%. The way it works now, the money is so high. It's such incredibly high numbers. If she steps away and says, "Hey, we have to renegotiate because I'm at my highest earning potential right now. This is the
Hmm.
biggest draw I've ever been. More people are responding to the man than ever before. I believe I'm worth this value. Set a base number. I believe I'm worth this incentive value. Set stretch goals. I believe that in a cooperative effort, we can do these things. And if WWE isn't interested in doing that, you go to AEW. And you don't
Hmm.
sign a year contract. You sign a day contract. You sign a week contract. You sign a
Yeah,
month contract. You sign a 3 appearance contract. You see what I'm saying here.
yeah,
And then you go and you show WWE that gate. You go and show them that draw from
It's
AEW.
leverage. That's you asking for. That's you playing with leverage right there.
Uh-huh,
Uh,
100%.
oh yeah,
But, I
I
mean,
get you see that.
do you think it'll still be there when she comes back as the entrant in the Royal Rumble, or is the Royal Rumble already drawing on its own? I think it is.
Well, let's be honest. This last Royal Rumble for the ladies was not that good.
Oh, it's the worst
The
one I
main
ever saw.
the main highlight. Well, yeah, you were there, man.
Yeah.
But at least the highlight that we had is a great way to segue. Jordan Grace made her WWE debut, and Jordan Grace is coming in NXT for a title shot. And this is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Apparently, it's been released that Jordan Grace isn't the only TNA wrestler coming over to WWE, nor nor the and they're not closing the door for anyone else to go to TNA from WWE.
Well, and I don't watch NXT, so I know I only saw this because that Roxanne Perez is the gal, you know.
Yeah,
But I guess she doesn't have to do regular NXT. This is going straight to Battleground. Is that your understanding?
yes, straight PLE, and it's a great way to sell more tickets. Yeah,
Well, I like that hypothetical that you're giving me. That she wins the title, she takes it over to TNA, and now NXT stars need to pop over to TNA and try to get it back. Like this works for me. Like,
the,
is that
the,
bringing an audience to NXT from TNA that may not be there? Yes, 1,000 times over. I think yes.
the way they said it, the way it's been said is it's a two-way door. People can come in or out of the door. My fantasy booking would I would love to see AJ Styles have one more match in TNA. That would be a beautiful thing to see.
AJ Styles and TNA. Yeah, I think I agree. His story there was so good, and his end. And this, I think it was 2015. He came over to WWE, and it was at the Royal Rumble, and it was kind of like a good secret. Like it wasn't like dirt sheety spoiled. It wasn't kind of that world. Oh, we got to go to break in a second.
Yes,
But yeah, him popping in was done wildly well before it was kind of figure out how to do it really well.
yeah.
So the exit seemed kind of gross. You would want to put him against some other TNA guys that, and I mean, obviously you think like Kurt Angle, you think like Samoa Joe, you think, which wouldn't work because AEW obviously.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I would love to see TNA
Christopher Daniels.
in TNA. Ooh, well, Christopher Daniels has been in the background. He's been booking and doing.
Yeah.
He's wearing a suit now. But see AJ Styles and Moose.
Okay.
That would be pretty fun. That'd be a pretty
I don't
fun
hate
thing.
it. Well, you know what? If there's the things you just saw it on SmackDown last week, and at the time we were recording, we haven't watched SmackDown yesterday. He's talking to Nick Aldis, and he's talking about, hey, give me a title shot. And Nick Aldis is like, I like you, brother, but professionally, I can't do it. You're not the guy. If he were to challenge like Nick Aldis to go fight in TNA, Nick Aldis is like, he's like, I can't fight here. Oh, okay, let's go fight in TNA. Like that would work. Nick Aldis can roll around still. Don't
Nick
think
Aldis,
for a second
yeah.
that he can't. Like that's a guy who has it in him and would give it to whoever wanted it in the ring. And eventually that time I think will come. You'll have a GM versus GM match.
Ooh.
I think. I mean, I don't know if you think that's a thing, but
that definitely could be a thing.
Yeah, if you put Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis in a match, it will be a very good wrestling match.
And it would actually be really good to see Dick Aldis and Mickey James on camera again. That'd be.
Oh, hey, I'm such a Mickey James mark.
I love her.
Oh my god, dude, my whole life. Like I've been in love with Mickey James since I knew I could fall in love with people I never met.
I love her. She's actually really sweet, and she can dance, man. Yeah, through Comic-Con.
Oh, that's right.
Mickey James is like one of my favorite people. I had a great talk with Mickey James. Actually, she gave me cool insight. So this is actually a little behind the curtain for you. This was like a few years, maybe like 2019, and I was asking about like the direction where women's wrestling is going because like the bar is being raised more and more. Oh, I know we have to go to
no, you're good.
Soon, right? The bar being raised more and more, and like, are we comfortable? We're getting ready to see on TV in the national audience, hardcore matches, death matches. Are we
Yes.
like? It seems that we're heading that way. And she was telling me, like, you know what? Her first concern is as long as they're getting home safe, and as long as they're in agreement of what's happening. But I'm not going to do it.
Oh,
But like it's one of those things we see, like the direction of women's sports, women's wrestling. Like they have to do a little bit of shock value in there because they want to like get more eyes on it. But I think it's still keep to the principle, tell a good story, and keep just keep us enthralled with a great storytelling.
speaking of, Duke City Comic Con is June 14th through 16th. You know, that's at the Marriott Pyramid. All kinds of entertainers coming through, including Jimmy Hart. And now Kira Hogan is not making the visit, right? Postponed.
No, yeah, postponed.
Okay, that's okay. Business.
Yeah, yeah, man. No, it's nothing's final till life is done.
Yeah.
But
Hard
there will be,
subject to change is
yeah,
what they say.
well said. But there will be a bit of a Revenge of the Nerds reunion
Yeah, you'll need
at
to
this
find
one.
someone who's not me to help you with that one. I don't.
I copy you. I have someone in mind.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that world. Whenever we get back from the break, we continue going over and we have that conversation about hardcore extended because we did our version of hardcore wrestling at Duke City Championship Wrestling last week. And we'll tell you all about it after this. It's going over on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Welcome back to Going Over. Welcome back to myself, Fred Slow, and Saleh Taylor alongside me. We're talking about the world of pro wrestling. We just have a handful of minutes to wrap this one up. Real good banger of an episode thus far, talking about the possibilities of pro wrestling and what you can do that's not pro wrestling. And we're talking about hardcore wrestling. As you had mentioned, bringing up a conversation with Mickey James at a Comic-Con recently. I had this idea. So, Duke City Championship Wrestling is like a family-friendly product, this, that, and the other thing. By the way, I took my first bump in a ring ever this past week, and you gave
How
me,
did that happen? How did that
yeah,
happen, man?
pushed me right through the ropes.
What?
So this is so funny. So I go out, I greet everyone. I have a bunch of fun facts about the last year of pro wrestling, blah, blah, blah. I say, thank you, I leave. And then Thunder pushes me right back out the curtain. Thunder and Matthew Robles and yourself and Veronica Vega's there and Charlie 50's there. And they push me all the way back to the ring and they tell me to hold the ropes. Okay, I'm holding the ropes. So then everyone's coming in and you're dead ass last because why, that actually just makes sense. You're the caboose.
Raise the
And
caboose.
you gave me just maybe you didn't want me to hold the ropes for you. I'm not 100% sure, but you just put me right on my backside right there into the ring, and more people cheered than I thought they would. I thought it would. I thought people were going to come to my rescue. No one did.
Well, there's a way that you're holding the ropes. I just didn't trust it, so I just had to make sure I do it myself. It's all good.
It was a lot of fun though because I'd never done anything about that, and whenever I'm out in the ring, I'm only ever out there for like 3 minutes at a time, 5 minutes at a time, just saying, "Hey, everyone, get to your seat. We're going to start the show." I'm that guy. But it was my first segment, like on camera, aside from the broadcast. So it was a lot of fun. We did the edit today. It comes out tomorrow, and it's a 19-minute segment. Solid. this is like how WWE starts a show. 19 minutes of me just standing there looking, and I keep trying to like move around. You know what I mean? And like I'm like, oh no, give me the microphone back, do it. And you just like you're putting your finger in my face. You're telling me I suck. Charlie 50 is like pantomiming things I should do to him. And I was like, oh, like it was. So anyway, it's kind of a fun one for me. But we had our first quote unquote hardcore match.
That was actually fun. The toys.
Yes.
The toy match. What was the sponsor again for that?
Duke City Toys. So
Duke City Toys.
Yeah, so they were the title sponsor of our birthday bash present match, and it was Mickey Knuckles who made her Duke City Championship Wrestling debut. So thank you to her. And then
Mickey Knuckles,
Dewey Martinez, who is I don't know, he's just a pro, dude. Like he's an absolute pro. Runs promotion in Amarillo. You've wrestled for him. Kind He'll wrestle on a Friday night, come wrestle for us on a Saturday. He's the weirdest dude I've ever met, and he's so good at pro wrestling. So they get in the ring, and we dump the toys all out, right? Like Gabe Gambino comes out with Leo Martinez of Duke City Toys, and they just spread them all over the ring, and it's like kind of unbalanced though. There's a lot of lightsabers. There was like a ton of lightsabers. There was like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys. There was Marvel toys. There was like little kid toys, like the horse head on the stick. There was a little bit of everything out there, and they beat the crap out of each other with that stuff.
That was calling that match, witnessing that match with you was just
so stupid.
so much fun.
It makes me pop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Well, in the same match, there's some laughing spots, and then there's a couple spots when we were just
dying,
aghast,
just dying laughing.
Like,
and they don't know what toys they have beforehand, right? They get their Mickey Knuckles and Chewy, and they're like, "Okay, yeah, we can do work with this." We're artists. Thank you for these paintbrushes.
they painted quite a piece.
Oh, so funny. And so little inside pro wrestling. So a lot of those toys are the 9-year-olds in my life, right? So we just moved. We got a new house, right? So me and my lady, we buy this new house, and we're figuring out life. And so we got to downsize, right? So she's got all these toys, and I'm like, well, what do you want to do? You want to donate them? You want to do whatever? So she's like, and it's like My Little Pony and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? So we bring them all out in a toy chest, and they beat each other up. And as soon as the match is over, like the audience rushes the ring. And they want like I'm seeing Mr. Happy
souvenir.
Mr. Happy signing like unicorns and stuff. And I'm like, this tracks. This is all super good. So yeah, hardcore wrestling can be done the right way. I promise you.
That was just a joy to see. It was fun. I'm grateful that that Chewy Martinez and Mickey Knuckles like trusted us enough to like, you know what, let's have some fun with this. They did.
Talented. Yeah, it was wild good. It was incredibly good. So yeah, fun little night. We had I don't know do you want to call it the best night we've ever had? I don't want to use that phrasing because I feel like it's an overhyped type of phrasing, but I think it was the best night of pro wrestling that we had ever put together. What's your thoughts on that?
It was a great night. It was a great night. It was a beautiful night, man. It was just a great night, man.
We opened with the Battle Royal for the Route 66 Championship. Whole bunch of dudes in the ring, I think 15 or 16, including the DCCW debut of Macho Libre. It was Nacho Libre, excuse me. No, Macho Libre. It's Macho Man Randy Savage. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. So then he gets in. It's so funny. Mr. Happy comes out victorious in that thing. We go straight to a defending of a championship. It's the Nightmare Factory Championship. The return of Angelica Risk, and Albuquerque just loves her. The place is erupting. Eliza Hayes is going crazy. I loved it. We go into El Diablo Blanco beating up Chris Watson. These two dudes from Texas are trying to win over the Albuquerque crowd, and then we cap that one off with that, like we said, that birthday present match, which was so funny and so much fun. And then we go to another gimmick match, which is the All Fast MVD.
All Fast, huh?
Yeah, the All Fast match, Tyler Copeland versus Turbo Tony. And the idea of this is, can Tyler Copeland actually wrestle? Can he just not run around the ring the whole time? And heck, yes, he could. He took Turbo Tony down to the very end and had him in a submission hold, and the clock expired. So we'll see how their story continues. Plex versus Tommy Test was, two dudes that love wearing singlets, just wrestling the crap out of each other. It was really good. And then, Gabe comes out with the birthday cake, and where the whole building is, ready to have cake. And then Tyler Copeland comes out. He's going to ruin the whole thing. Turbo Tony comes out. What do you do if a birthday cake's in the ring, Saleh? You put
eat the
Tyler
damn
Copeland. Thing. Yeah. So Tyler Copeland goes through the cake. The big main event with Hobo Hank and Mr. Happy. I tell you what, dude, I was mentally exhausted. My voice was gone. My mind was spent. Physically, all I wanted to do was nothing. but I got to do so very much with all my people, you included. My lady was a big part of it. She brought us champagne that we toasted on air. It was just like a really special one for me, Sully. And I was wondering here in the last final moments if you experienced it the same way.
I think I said this earlier today. I was just like, there's a few moments where I had to kind of pinch myself and just take it in. I was like,
Yeah.
this is big. This is beautiful, and more importantly, this is the start of another thing that's big that's going to get bigger. So,
Well,
like, it was beautiful, man. It was great. It was a great show.
yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I was very, very happy about it. We have to go though, Sully, because we're at the end of this one. Final words, brother.
I cannot thank our fans enough. I
Yeah.
appreciate y'all so much, and Fred, I appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much, friend. We'll be back this exact same time next week. We'll be 1 week closer to Summer Sizzle, June 28th at the historic El Rey Theater. For Saleh Taylor, for myself. Good job, everyone. GG. Angela, I'm going to look up this thing and see what's going on with the Facebook thing because I don't know why it would be a problem, but I'll fix it for you. Promise. Cool. Bye. Am I not supposed to use